Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody? Good morning. A little bit of a mic check here before we get going. Let's just crank it up a little bit. There we go. Tim, what's up, brother man? Good morning. All right, it is 8:16 on this beautiful Monday, baby. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Excited to see what the market has in store for us this week, guys. So, give it about 4 minutes. We'll officially dive into it here in a moment. Let a few individuals kind of settle on in. We'll have some fun with it, guys. Make sure we're all set here. I got like 5 streams going, so I gotta make sure all the streams are up. There we go. We got Chris over on Rumble. We got Benny B. What's up, dude? He is over on the Rumble as well. Absolutely loving it. Cool. I'm just checking everything real quick. Make sure that we are live on every channel. Because, yes, we are live on like 5 different channels right now. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. We're live on the Twitter. We're live on Facebook and TikTok. My goodness. And we're going to be going live inside of chat. Yes, you heard me. Yes, I'm going to be going live inside of chat. That's like, what, 6 streams? Ooh, man. My computer loves me the day, I tell you what. All right, so hit me with a good morning if you are in the stream. All right, just hit me with a good morning. You got Chris over on Rumble. You got Benny B over on Rumble as well. Who is over on YouTube? Give me some love. Show some love. We got a few viewers over on YouTube right now. What's up, everybody? Again, good morning. And then, yeah, if you guys are anywhere else, I have no freaking idea. So if you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, and you want to have some of your questions answered and you guys want the full stream, just head on over to YouTube or go over to Rumble. Type in Alpha Day Trading. We're live. And if you guys want the full interactive stream that will be starting officially in 2 minutes, we're going to dive into it, give you guys the game plan, the rundown, the breakdown, whatever you guys want to call it for the day. Make sure that you guys are prepared with what's going on in the markets, right? What to expect, what to be mindful of, and really just to help you guys get positioned, really get dialed in, and be able to make some money today, all right? That's why you guys are showing up, is you want to learn how to trade stocks. You want to learn how to make money consistently in the market. And so I put these streams together Monday through Friday for about an hour. And really what we do is we're answering your questions, trying to help you guys out, point you guys in the right direction, and really just help you guys navigate the market correctly, right? And just be a good trader, right? Have the right mindset that it takes to be a good trader. Really get you guys prepared as far as top stocks of the day, breaking down everything, levels, analysis. I mean, you name it. So you can come into the market at 9:30 confidently and put on some winning trades and actually earn, right, while you guys are learning at the same time. So I love putting these streams together. Again, 8:30 to 9:30, Monday through Friday is going to be the new stream, the new format. And again, we're going to be live on every social media channel. Again, we're going to be going live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube right now. We're live on TikTok right now. We're live on Facebook. We're live. Did I say Twitter? I don't know. Rumble, YouTube, chat. I mean, we're live everywhere right now. So, Stock TA, good morning. Tom over on YouTube, I think. Yeah, it shows a little YouTube icon. Oh, that's pretty dope. All right, what's up, brother? Good morning. And like I said, if you guys are anywhere else, if you're on Facebook right now, if you guys are over on, TikTok, if you guys are anywhere besides Rumble, besides YouTube, again, just go click that link in my bio, click the link in my description, and come join us over on YouTube and Rumble for the full interactive stream. You guys will see my charts, all that good stuff, and really make sure that we have this opportunity to get you guys prepared for the day. Hey, yo, paper planes. What is going on? However you want to call me. Stockta, Stockta, Stockata. Yeah, whatever. It'll work. It'll work for the day, right? All right, let's go ahead and go live inside of our community as well. And then we'll officially start breaking everything down, giving you guys the game plan for the day. What do we have going on? What can we expect? How are we looking to make some money today? Yeah, we'll definitely be looking at the SPY, brother, man. We will definitely be looking at the SPY. Before we officially dive into it, though, give me a quick thumbs up. Make sure that the stream is coming in good. Make sure the audio quality is good for you guys as well. Just give me that quick thumbs up and let me know. And I want to make sure that we're good to go and ready to rock and roll. And it's early today. Oh, yeah, baby. We're back. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Money Monday, ladies and gentlemen, inside of chat. Alphas, you guys know who you are. The Corys, the Stirs, the Steves, the Anthonys. What's up, everybody? Good morning inside of chat. How we all doing today? Welcome back and happy Money Monday. Hope you guys had a fantastic, phenomenal, freaking awesome weekend. And I hope you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll for today. Ready to attack it, ready to crush it, ready to start the final 90 days of 2023. The final quarter, the final 3 months, the final 90, whatever you guys want to call it. We are going to attack it. We are going to make it happen. We are going to make this next 3 months best 3 months of the entire year. I got some big goals for myself. I hope you guys got some big goals as well. Don't be the individual that just waits until the first of the year to start implementing goals and taking action. Be a part of the 5%. Start those goals now and crush it over these next 90 days and be so much further ahead than 95% of people come 2024. And that's what I'm doing, guys. I got some big goals here over the next 3 months when it comes to trading, business, you name it. And I want to make sure that I'm absolutely crushing it and making sure that I'm far ahead of everybody else come 2024. New Year's resolution. How about the final 90 resolution? Let's crush it. Let's make it happen. And let's dominate the market while we're here in the markets. All right. So again, good morning inside of chat. Hit your boy with the big old Alpha Day Trading. Good morning. If you guys are on TikTok, hit me with the good morning. If you guys are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, hit me with a big old good morning. Once again, we are officially live on the mic. We're going to break everything down, get you guys prepared for the day, and make sure that you guys are navigating the market correctly and you understand how I'm looking to navigate the market myself, how I'm looking to, again, just make some money. That's why we're here. We want to learn how to trade, right? And we want to be able to earn at the same time. So we're going to learn today. We're going to learn. We're going to earn. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to make it happen, guys. And my goal is help you guys come into the market at 9:30, be so prepared to where you guys can lock in some nice base hit profits. And that's the goal today. So if you guys are anywhere besides YouTube or Rumble, just go to YouTube or Rumble. Right? If you want the full stream with the charts, all that great stuff, a very interactive stream, just go to YouTube, type in Alpha Day Trading, join the live stream. All right? If you guys are on anywhere else, again, go to Rumble, type in Alpha Day Trading, join the live stream. This is where you guys want to be every single morning. Again, if you guys are on TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. All right? Steve, what's up? Good morning. Joey, Mr. Steve, what's up, brother, man? Good morning. Inside of chat. And then over on, looks like we got the YouTubers right now. What's up? Can't say the first name, but Scooter Tips. Tom, what's up, brother, man? Z Nick B, what's up, brother? Good morning. You got Nick over on TikTok as well. Holla mates, what's up? Sharon, again, come over to YouTube, guys. Go over to Rumble. It's a better place to be. Hall Speed 67, what's up? Good morning. All right, so let's start here. Let's start with a market overview. That's where I really like to start, okay? What do we got going on this week, today? Economic data, things are going on that we need to be mindful of, right? So we know exactly how to trade the market. I want to give you guys an example of, a couple of weeks ago when we had CPI and PPI data. And a lot of traders asking me, Josh, how come you're not swing trading the SPY, calls, or puts? And I'm like, there's just way too much data dropping this week to where I have no idea how the market's going to react. If I'm in put contracts holding through CPI and we got good data and the market rips to the upside at 8:30 in the morning, I got to wait until 9:30 to close that position. I can't do anything, and that exposes me to a lot more risk. So I'm only looking to day trade these opportunity, not swing trade through a lot of this data. And really the same thing applies for a few days this week. So we're going to go ahead and dive into it real quick, give you guys the breakdown, the rundown, what you guys need to be mindful of so you don't find yourself in a position of, say, getting into a swing trade, holding through this data and wanting to be able to get out in pre-market, for example, because the market's going against you. You want to cut it, but you can't do anything until 9:30. And by then, maybe you're down 50, 60, 70%. No one wants to be in that position. So if you're mindful about what's going on in the market, when it's happening, you're always one step ahead. You could always be positioned correctly to make sure you're mitigating risk. And that's what we want to do as traders, right? We want to make money, right, in a very easy, simple way, but we want to mitigate risk. We want to limit our downside. And so by these morning preparation sessions, right, getting you guys prepared, that helps us be aware of what's going on so we can mitigate our downside. I don't want to see anybody getting completely blown out of the water because they didn't know, oh, we had CPI data on Wednesday. Again, that's why we're here in the morning, to make sure you guys are prepared. So let's dive into it. First thing I want to take a look at is the economic calendar for today. And today's a very data-heavy day, guys. Very, very data-heavy day. Check out the economic calendar right now. At 10 o'clock, we have ISM manufacturing PMI. That is data that's going to move the market. We've seen this data drop so many times, and it definitely moves the market. So mark up your charts, 10 a.m. You do have ISM manufacturing data. Mark up your chart for 11 o'clock. You got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 11 o'clock, followed by Fed Harker. And then here at 1 o'clock, you got Fed Barr. 1:30, you got Fed Williams. And then here later in the day, you got Fed Mester speech. I mean, you got Fed speaking galore today, right? You got Powell at 11 o'clock, followed by Harker, right around 11:30. And then 1 and 1:30, you have two other Fed members speaking today as well. But big key data right out of the gate, 10 a.m., which is going to be ISM manufacturing PMI data. Okay, and that's all that's taking place today. Take a look at tomorrow. It's not as a data-heavy day, but you still have some very key data dropping after market open even tomorrow. You have JOLTS job openings data tomorrow at 10 a.m., so be mindful of that. Coming into Wednesday, you got even more key data right after the market opens, right? You got S&P Global Composite final data, you got factory orders month over month, you got ISM services employment, and you got Fed members speaking again. Wednesday is a very data-heavy day. And we got Thursday jobless claims data before the market opens. Again, you can see that this is going to be a very busy week in the economic calendar. Not just data that drops at 8:30, right, 9 o'clock in the morning, but data that's going to be dropping when the market's live. And a lot of traders don't realize the importance of this data. There's so many traders out there that will be in trades, be aggressive, be risk on around 10 o'clock. And then the market's going to move erratically. Some may make a lot of money. Some may lose their butts. Like, what just happened in the market? Why did that happen? Well, if they were mindful that we had data at 10 o'clock, maybe they were finger on the trigger, hard stop in the system, or completely flat on their trade altogether. Today, high importance, 10 a.m., ISM manufacturing PMI. Be mindful of that. Make sure that you're positioned correctly to, again, mitigate your risk, right? Yes, we want to make money, right? But we also want to limit our downside and mitigate our risk. And that's what we're going to be doing, all right? So that's what we got going on today that we got to be super mindful of. Again, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then 1 to 1:30 as we do have some Fed members speaking, okay? Other than that, futures right now are down at this point in time, right? We closed on the SPY 427.48 on Friday. Right now we're down slightly, about 1 point to the downside. We're down towards around 426.60. So again, about 1 point to the downside. And, futures are moving up a little bit because lawmakers averted the government shutdown by passing that last minute bill. And so futures had a nice little reaction, but now we're starting to see the market fade and fall into the open. Here on the SPY, take a look at the Qs. Same thing. Qs opening up right? Smacking some higher time frame resistance, and then same thing, just kind of fading and falling into the open. So let's give you guys the quick game plan and some analysis here on the SPY as far as what are my expectations? What do I think we could see take place today? All right. And again, it really comes down to, again, 10 o'clock data drop. How's the market going to react? That data could completely throw off my initial analysis for this morning, right? That's data that I have yet to understand how the market's going to react to that data. And so if we have great data and the market starts ripping, right, but I come into the market at 9:30 short bias, I need to switch my bias to the long side if that's what we see at that point in time. So that's why I trade live inside of the community every single day, Monday through Friday, for like 3 hours, because so many things can happen during the day where you need to pivot, you need to adjust. So I'm going to give you guys the game plan right now at this point in time. But like I said, there's a lot happening today to where at 10 o'clock, right, I could be long bias, and right now I may be short bias, for example. And that's why it's important to be a part of the community and working with a team and working where they can help you guys out. But long story short, let's give you the initial plan right now based on the data that we have in front of us. What are my expectations? What do I think can take place today here in the market? So right now at this point in time, again, where are we at? We're at 426.67. So we are starting to slightly fall below this zone. It was really, intraday support resistance, right? This zone right here that I want you guys marking up between 426.85 and 427.05. That's not the daily level. It's an intraday level, okay? And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to switch the color of that zone so we can see there's a difference between this zone here and these other 2 to 3 zones that we have, right? I'm a big fan of coming in, looking at the daily time frame, doing my analysis solely on the daily time frame, right? And then going down to a 4-hour, a 1-hour, all the way down to a 5-minute. But I like finding these high probability, key significant levels right from the higher time frame. Again, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, whatever the case is. But every now and then, we will find a really solid area just over the past few days, for example, that carry as much weight or significance as, these daily higher time frame levels. No, but there's still areas that we should be mindful of. So again, this zone here that's between 426.85 and 427.05 is an area that you guys definitely need to have marked up on your chart. Go back and look at Tuesday of last week, right? Look at all of that support we had right around that zone. Then go take a look at Wednesday. Out of the gate, we held it as beautiful support, cracked below it, retested it as resistance before we dropped. Came back up towards the end of the day, hit that level as resistance. That was just on Wednesday. And come look at Thursday, where we had initial resistance. We broke it, retested it, held it as support on Thursday. And then come back and look at Friday. Friday, we came down into that zone, held it as support, turned into resistance, back into support. So we can see that this area has been hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times over the past 4 days. It's going to be a pretty solid level of support resistance, okay? But again, I want to stress, does it carry as much weight and significance as a daily level? It does not. But the fact that it's been hit like 12 times, it's a very key, very important level. Okay? And we're actually below it right now at this point in time. So it's very, very possible that we see the SPY holding below that zone as resistance right at the start of the day. And if that's what we see take place, where we are trading below this zone of resistance, where could we see the SPY come down to next? Well, I'm going to say Friday's low of day. That's going to put you back down towards around 426 on the SPY. So maybe $1, right? If you open on up, come up into that zone, top on out, and you feel the break. What's that price at? Right around 427, right? So let's just imagine there was a reason to get short here at 427 on the SPY. How much room to the downside do you have? You have $1. That is plenty of reward on the SPY to make some big time profits. Trading a 30, 40 delta option, you get a whopping $1 move to the downside. You can make 30 to 40 bucks per contract, right? So again, it doesn't seem like a lot. Traders want $5 moves, but if you're positioned correctly and you know how to trade, 50 cents to $1 could be your one and done trade of the day. That's all you need to make really good profit, right? So that's what we would be expecting here on the SPY, is if we open below this zone and fail to break above it, I believe we can see an initial drop at the start of the day back down into Friday's low of day, which is 426. If we ever fall below Friday's low of day in that 426 level, then I see potential for the SPY to get back down to this lower zone of support. This zone is between 424.83 and 425 on the SPY. Below that zone, our next area is going to be back down at these lows from Wednesday. That's between 422.61 and 422.76 here on the SPY. So that's going to be our short plan, guys. Okay, we have a long plan in place just in case, but this is going to be our short plan. If we're holding below this zone and we fail to break back above it and we stay below it as resistance, we have about $1 to the downside, Friday's low of day. Then another $1 to the downside, right around 425, into all of this daily support from last week. And then potentially all the way back down into Wednesday's lows, down below 423. So we can see there's $3 to $4 of potential to the downside today here on the SPY. Okay? But what's the long plan in place? Just in case we break above that zone. Right? Because that could happen, right? We may not sit here and top on out and drop, right? If it does do that, we already know exactly how we want to get entries, where we're taking profit, how we're looking to make money, right? Pretty simple stuff. However, if we get back above that zone and we see it turn back into support, well, that's what we call a break and retest. And that is a higher low that buyers can move back in off of. We may be able to start to see that next leg to the upside. So, if that's the case, where could we see the SPY go? Well, let's just say we got back above that zone, we held it, and we start to see buyers move in. That's a nice little break and retest. We could go long off that higher low, off a valid support level. Where do you got room to? Well, here's the thing. You don't really have a lot of room to the upside. You're pretty limited, right? Look at this downtrend from Friday, right? We hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 different times before that massive drop on off. So even if we get back above that zone and we hold it as support, how much room to the upside do you truly have? Right? Maybe up to like wherever that downtrend would be at that point in time, could be like the high 427s, right? Because that downtrend is going to be an area of resistance. We may come right into that downtrend and then fail to break it and dump. I mean, that's what we did on Friday. We came into that downtrend for the 4th time, failed to break it, and we dumped. So it's very possible that that downtrend is still being validated today here on the SPY. So even if we get above that zone and hold it as support, you are somewhat limited to the upside. You do have room into that downtrend that was created and validated on Friday. Okay, that's going to put you 427.70, 427.80-ish, right? But then if we break the downtrend, now we have some potential to the upside. Right now we can see the SPY actually possibly start to really move on back up. And where do I see our next like key zone of resistance? Well, the next key zone, right? And there's going to be other pit stops along the way, but I'm talking key levels, right? Key significant levels. The next key significant level that we're going to have on the SPY is this zone back up between 431.20 and 431.91. Now, how did I come up with that zone? I mean, take a look at the daily chart. Right? You have that nice big gap up high day rejection. Nice little pullback low on the daily before that nice big bounce. We had some support around that zone here a couple weeks ago. And then it was our gap up open and our high day from Friday. Right? This is a valid point. This right here is a valid daily point. And then Friday is another valid daily point. Gap up open and high day in that zone of resistance. That's going to be the next key zone here on the SPY. That if we do see the SPY get back above this zone, hold it as support, higher low push, and we ever break that downtrend, it's possible we see the SPY get back up into all of that resistance here today, maybe even into tomorrow, right? And that would be our long plan that we have in place just in case, right, we see the SPY getting back above this zone, regaining it, holding it as support, and then again, looking like it wants to have a nice push to the long side today. So let me simplify everything I just discussed, right? Let's really break it down into a quick 10-second game plan. SPY below this zone of 426.85 and 427.05, puts today. So below this zone, we're looking for puts, okay? Above this zone, we'll be looking for calls. So what is this zone right here? What do I call these zones? The make or breaks. I call these the LIS, the lists. You're probably like, what the hell is the list? That's your line in the sand. Well, that's LITS, line in the sand. Your lits. What's your lits for the day? Your line in the sand. It's going to be that zone. I literally just made that up, by the way. But again, 10-second breakdown. Key area of resistance. We stay below it, we're taking puts today. We get above it, hold above it, we're taking calls today. It's that simple. So what do you have to do now? You just got to wait for the market to give you an opportunity, give you a reason to get in, set up, give you confluence, confirmation, right? Build your plan, get prepared, make it happen. Okay, so you're not just jumping into puts. There has to be a solid reason to do so. Okay, but as long as we're trading below that zone, we're looking for short opportunity. As long as we're trading above that zone, we're looking for a long opportunity, but we still need to find and identify the opportunity. That's that. All right. So that's going to be the game plan. That's going to be the analysis today here on the SPY. All right. Now, before we go into the cues, before I go into any other, personal stocks that you guys have right now, what questions do you have regarding the game plan and the analysis on the SPY? Before we move on, want to make sure you guys are fully up to speed. It makes sense that you guys are solely dialed in, right? That is the bread and butter of these live streams, is to make sure you guys are mindful about what's going on today in the market, so you can always make sure you're navigating the market correctly. Okay, number two, I want to give you guys my analysis and game plan on the SPY, so you know exactly what I'm looking to do and why I'm looking to do it to really help you guys get prepared. So before we move on, do we have any questions whatsoever about today, about the analysis, about the SPY? Let me know. All right, and if you guys are not on YouTube, if you're not on Rumble, that's where you guys want to be. That's where we have our interactive stream. That's where you can see the charts. Nice interactive stream, guys, over on YouTube. Alpha Day Trading, we're live. Definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's where you want to be every morning. Or over on Rumble, Alpha Day Trading. Again, subscribe, give us a follow, hit the notification bell. That's where you guys want to be every single morning, Monday through Friday at 8:30, okay? You guys are on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok. That's fantastic. But again, you guys want to be on YouTube or Rumble to get full interactive stream in the mornings. Give you guys a heads up. And if you guys are here on TikTok, links are in the bio. Question from Kevin. Can I play the SPY with $200 in buying power? You can. Absolutely. But the one thing that I want to stress, Kevin, is if you are not yet consistently profitable in a simulated account, and you're not really confident in your ability to trade consistently, even if you got $200 in buying power, I would not risk it, right? You got to be consistently profitable in a simulated account first and foremost, right? Then we need to transition to a live account, okay? But the goal with that simulated account is to really hone in on what works for you and for you to build confidence. That's the biggest thing, is to be super confident in your ability to come in and trade the market consistently and profitably. If you can do that on a demo account, we can just take what you've done in that demo account, apply it to your first live account with, say, $200, and then really start to, again, become consistent with real money. But to answer your question straight up, yes, you can. But I want to hit on something else. You're not yet consistently profitable in a simulated account for at least 30 days minimum. And I think that's the bare bone. That's minimum. I usually say 90 days. I wouldn't trade real money, because the last thing you want to do is take on a trade, lose your $200, and then be discouraged. Why not just practice in a simulated account, and then when you're confident, go into a live account? Right? Again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a career, not a get-rich-quick thing. Okay? And so if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, something that makes you multiple figures, you're going to go to school for 4, 6, maybe 8 years to be able to get that great job to make multiple 6 figures. Here's the cool thing with stock trading. You can make multiple 6 figures and your own boss. And you can do this from anywhere in the world. So we're not cutting corners. We're not trying to rush the process. We want to trust the process. Take it at your own pace, little by little by little. If you do that, you can crush your goals in a year, 2 years. And again, you're your own boss, and this is a career. This is not just a get-rich-quick thing, right? So again, I want you guys to really trust in the process, do it the correct way, and again, take your time, right? Go at your own pace. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You want to hit multiple six figures, we can get you there, but again, it's not going to happen in a month, okay? It's not going to happen in 2 months. It takes time. Just like you're not going to become a doctor or a lawyer making multiple figures in a couple of months. It's going to take you years. But the cool thing with trading stocks, it's not going to take you 4, 5, 6 years. It doesn't have to. Look at Anthony. It's taken him 90 days to become consistently profitable. Imagine another year under his belt. He's going to be dominating it. So, take it at your own pace. All right? Best money hacks over on the Rumble. Thank you for the knowledge. Absolutely, sir. 100%. All right, let's look at some individual stocks for you guys now. Chris wanted to take a look at BNOX. So BNOX had a press release, if I'm not mistaken, here on, was it Friday? Let's go look. BNOX. Yes, so on Friday they had a Form 6K filing on BNOX. Man, this thing is looking pretty disgusting. I'm not going to lie. Look at that daily. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not really seeing too much like from the daily. You know me, like I start with the daily time frame, and if I see something on the daily, it intrigues me, then I start really paying attention to it. But if I look at the daily and the daily just looks absolutely disgusting, I really just start to discredit it. You know, but let's just go ahead and mark up what is that going to be? Thursday's low of day and Friday's close. Let's mark up that zone first and foremost between 270 and 281. Okay, we're above that zone, and we are pushing back up into Friday's high a day. We're actually, hold on, we're at 356. Yep. So again, that's going to be Friday's high a day. So here's what I would say, Mr. Chris. If you're looking to get long on BNOX, you need to see this stock breaking and holding Friday's high a day, in my opinion. Okay, if you want to get long on this stock and you think there's potential to the upside, first things first, BNOX needs to get above and stay above Friday's high a day. But let's do this. Let's grab ourselves a zone. Because, I mean, we can clearly see there's going to be a zone here on BNOX. It's a pretty big zone, but I want to really point this zone out because it's pretty valid. Pretty valid. So, yeah, we're looking at Friday's high day, of course, okay? But we're also looking at the zone right here between 337 and 351. And just go take a look back at Thursday. It was one of our areas of resistance in pre-market on Thursday. Not a super significant level, but we pushed into that zone, we got rejected, and then we broke it, okay? But what really stands out to me is we had some support. We fell below it. Right? We got back above it and held it as support here again multiple times. We grinded that zone for like an hour before we saw that nice big push to the upside there last Thursday. Then we see that zone was resistance Friday post-market, and now we see that zone turning into resistance here in pre-market as well. So here's the deal, Chris. If you want to get long on BNOX, you think there's any potential, first things first, you need to get above and stay above that zone between 337 and 351. So what do I mean by getting above it? What do I mean by staying above it? Let it pull back into that zone and hold as support, right? Again, if you're wondering what would that look like, getting above that zone and staying above that zone. Here's a great example from Thursday where we got above that zone and we stayed above that zone, right? Look at that great price action. It came down into that zone for like 30 minutes to an hour and held it beautifully before getting that nice big rip to the upside. So if you're wondering, hey, what does a get above and stay above that zone look like? This would be an example from Thursday. Get above that zone, stay above that zone, and if that's what we see take place, then you know that buyers could absolutely move on back in and see a nice little pop to the upside, okay? So get above that zone, stay above that zone, and then from there, you can actually be looking for some entries to the long side and at least be confident knowing that buyers can really start to step on back in. Where would you have room to? First target, my man, would be 4 dull hairs. Okay, would be 4 really nice, blonde, beautiful doll hairs. All right, then you could absolutely see this thing get back up towards around $4.39 here on BNOX, brother man. All right, Chris, makes sense? You good on BNOX, or do you need me to run back through it again? And then we'll take a look at FEMY, because FEMY is my number one penny stock for today. But we'll definitely look at FEMY for sure. But I want to make sure Chris is good inside of chat. Again, nothing against anybody over on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, but anytime I have a member inside of our community ask a question, ask for help, they get priority, obviously. But if everybody inside of chat's just completely quiet and I get a question on YouTube or Rumble or TikTok, I'll answer those for sure. But again, members inside of chat get first priority. Want to make sure that they're taken care of. So why should I be here, Josh? Well, are you getting some value? Are you learning? Are you getting prepared? Right? Is this valuable to you? Yes, then that's why you're here. 100%, because it's still valuable to you to help you be a better trader and get prepared for the day. So, yeah, I took a $92 L on FEMY. So I cut that one quick. I was up maybe $100, $150 at one point. But again, it never got that nice crack on down. So I took a small $92 loss. FEMY, I was getting short for the crack of this trend line as we were getting rejected in this daily zone of resistance several times. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It looks like it wants to set back up for the short. But we got 40 minutes until the market opens, and that's 40 minutes of me getting you guys prepared for the day. So if I just sit here and take a trade, that's not fair to you guys. But I talked about this morning, jumped in the mic around 7:30 to give you guys the game plan and the breakdown on FEMY. Okay, so I like FEMY. Couple different things that I like. I actually like the short right now because we're getting stuffed at this daily zone of resistance between 362 and 385. I mean, look at how many times we've hit this zone and got rejected. We hit it, got rejected. Hitting it, rejected. Hitting it, rejected. Right now, hitting it again. It's very possible that we continue to see that zone, just really be our main key area of resistance. So here's the game plan on FEMY. First things first, mark up this zone between 362 and 385. Okay? Here's your two game plans today on FEMY. If FEMY continues to get rejected off this daily zone of resistance, and if we ever crack this uptrend, I mean, look at this uptrend. We can all agree that there's a solid uptrend on FEMY. Okay? If we continue to get rejected off this zone of resistance, and if we ever see FEMY cracking this uptrend, I'm looking to get short again, down towards around $3 here on FEMY. Okay? However, if we actually finally break through this zone and actually hold this zone as support, well, I don't want to be getting short, right? Because that looks extremely bullish. I would be looking to get long for the leg up to $5. That's going to be our main target on FEMY, is going to be $5. But first target would be our pre-market high here at 430. Okay? So if we ever see a trend line crack, I'm getting short down the 3. Simple stuff. If we see this zone break and we see this zone hold, meanwhile, we're still holding our uptrend, that would be a good long confirmation to play this long back into those pre-market highs of 430, and then possibly all the way up into our final targets of $5 here on FEMY. So FEMY is like my number one to watch today. This is the one that looks fantastic out of everything that's moving. FEMY looks the best. And so I want to keep FEMY on high watch today. Does that make sense, guys? So Hall Speed, FEMY. Does that make sense? Looking good? All right, so you guys got the game plan and the breakdown on the spot. You guys are freaking dialed in, ready to rock and roll. Number one. All right. Number two, Number one pity stock today, FEMY. You guys good about FEMY before we move on? Just give me a thumbs up. If you guys can hear my kid in the background, she's just having a rough morning. What's this house echoes? I don't know. It's all the granite and all the tile and stone. It just echoes. You can fart upstairs in the far back corner of the house, and you can hear it ripple. Looks good? Cool. Again, that's just before we move on. I always want to have these touch points before we move on to make sure you guys are all set, ready to rock and roll. Right now, it's 8:56. We got time for one more. Okay, we got time for one more stock review before I dive into my full watch list today. Right, we have some opportunity on Google, Walmart, Amazon, maybe Netflix, and Spotify as well. We'll definitely be reviewing those for you guys. Can't add images as an edit. An existing post. Now you just got to delete it and then re-upload it. Nice, Joey. You got some money on FEMY. Good job. ICCM from Mr. Steve. That's what I'm talking about. Does ICCM have good opportunity? Let's take a look at ICCM real quick. Do we have any news on ICCM? I can't. Oh, come on, little box. Here we go. Let's go look at our scanners. ICCM. Do we have news on this stock today? October 2nd. Independent study validates iCure's ProSense cyroablation is safe and effective outpatient procedure for breast cancer with 96.8% success rate. That's a damn good press release there on ICCM. So an independent study is validating that their ProSense, whatever that is, it's safe and effective outpatient procedure for breast cancer with a 96.8% success rate. That is a phenomenal press release here on ICCM. So let's go ahead and obviously get that posted up inside the chat for you guys. Let's break down ICCM. Let's say what we got going on. Obviously, we got this big old gap here on ICCM. I'm more or less interested in the top end of this gap. This is where I'm interested in. The top end of this daily gap. And then, taking a look at the daily, where could we see this thing go? I'm looking at the 200-day moving average and some of this daily resistance up between 116 and 119. So I'm interested to see if ICCM can hold above this 87 to 90 cent region, maybe re-break $1 and then spike on up to the 200 SMA at like 118 today. Yeah, I mean, I like this a lot, guys. I'm not going to lie. This one looks pretty good. We had a nice big break into the 200 SMA. This is your first pullback into that zone of support. If you're looking for a trade on ICCM, it's like right here, right now. Good press release on ICCM, trading phenomenal volume, up 71%, 20 million in flow. This is the first pullback you've gotten after this initial run up from 60 cents all the way to $1.20. This is your first pullback into very, very good support. Right? It was the close and the low of day prior to this gap down. So this is a make or break level. If ICCM holds this zone, we could see a nice big bounce, right? But if we fail to hold that zone, just get out quick for a small loss, right? Low risk, high reward. This is a great looking pullback into that daily zone of support. Here's a plan, getting long at that daily zone of support, targets back up at your zone of daily resistance, and put stops right below that zone. Put them under like 85 cents. Look at that. You got a nice little 3-to-1, 4-to-1 opportunity. They're on ICCM. So this thing's looking pretty decent. And it's a 50% retracement from where we opened and started the push to this pullback. And it's a 50% retracement right now on ICCM. So you're sitting at a key daily zone of support. And this is a beautiful 50% retracement. And it's your first retracement. The first pullback, the first retracement is always the best, especially if it's into key support and you have multiple separate reasons to validate the trade as well. And you have a Fibonacci retracement on ICCM. But what really stands out to me is that we're coming down into that key daily zone. We just put in a nice little doji candle here with an increase in volume. So, I mean, overall, ICCM looks really good to me if we can hold above this zone between 87 cents and 90 cents. You have potential back up to $1 and then potential back up between 116 and 119. Looks really damn good. I like it a lot, actually. Looks pretty good here on ICCM. So keep that one on high watch, guys. Let's actually get it added to the watch list. ICCM, and we will absolutely make this our second stock of the day. All right, so any other stocks, any other tickers right now before we move on? And again, if you guys are on TikTok, if you guys are on Facebook, if you guys are on Twitter, I don't really see the comments because we're also live on YouTube and Rumble. If you want the full interactive live stream, you want to comment, you want your questions answered, go over to YouTube, Alpha Day Trading, join the stream, give us a follow, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join these sessions every single morning, Monday through Friday at 8:30. Or go to Rumble and do the same thing, depending on what app you like the most. We got YouTube, interactive stream. We got Rumble, interactive stream. Two great platforms that come join us every single morning. And again, get that engagement, interact with us, see these examples live, see the screens, all that good stuff, okay? And that's if you're on the Tickety Talk, hello. If you're over on Facebook, what's up? And if you guys are over on Twitter, good morning. Tesla getting a nice little pooparooski. Oh, yeah, I love it. Fall, Tesla, fall. Great. What do we got going on with Tesla? Ahead of Tesla's Q3 production numbers, option traders bet on further decline. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla and see what kind of news that we have here. Boop. Go TSLA. Do we have any news that just dropped? There would have to be. And that came out of nowhere. And that's a 9-point drop. Got to be some kind of catalyst to get this thing going. I mean, last thing we have is at 650 on Tesla. Tesla deliveries in focus amid price cuts, muted China demand. Tesla Cybertruck long run. Okay, what did Elon tweet? Did he tweet something? Let's go look at Elon and see if he tweeted anything. Mr. Elon Musk. Where's Mr. Elon? What'd you tweet there, buddy? Tweet something? No? You never know. Maybe he tweeted something. So I'm not really seeing anything right now over on his account. But anyway, not really sure why we had a massive drop like that. There's got to be some kind of catalyst that's pulling Tesla down. I mean, Tesla's not just going to drop 10 points out of nowhere. And it's a pretty steep drop with no real reason. So we'll just have to keep our eyes on the scanners and see what's going on. You got something Tesla deliver. I can't even believe like TD Ameritrade had that, but Scans didn't have that. That's sad. Cool. I'm surprised Scans didn't have it. Tesla delivers 435 EV in Q3 below their consensus of 461. So there goes Tesla going bye-bye, which is great because this gives us a reason to get really focused here on Tesla and see what we could have in store for today. Let's do some analysis on Tesla. And the first zone of support that I'm going to be able to see here is going to be this zone right here. And this is a key zone, guys. So go ahead and get this zone marked up on Tesla between 234.61 and 235.32. Go ahead and get that zone marked up. That's going to be a solid, significant zone of support if we get down there. Let's go ahead and mark up this zone right here as well. That's a pretty solid zone right off these weekly lows from last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep. So last week's, some weekly support we had here on Tesla. That's a great zone as well. That zone's between 238.36 and 238.71. And then resistance Uno momento, por favor. Again, I'm super dialed in. I'm not just going to give you some random zone. I'm going to make sure that the zone is zone. So just bear with me. Yep. Gap up close, low of day bounce, low of day bounce, high day rejection, high day rejection. It was that weak support as well. Yeah, that's going to be a decent little zone here between 244.39 and 244.92 is going to be an overhead zone of resistance. And we can clearly see that even just looking at a 5-minute time frame going back over the past, say, week. I mean, go look at Thursday. Great support there on Thursday. Go take a look at Wednesday out of the gate. We couldn't break that zone. We dumped. Take a look at last Tuesday. A lot of resistance, a lot of support there. Go take a look at last Monday. A lot of resistance, a lot of support. So we can see that's going to be a pretty significant level here on Tesla. In that zone, again, is between 244.39 and 244.92. Right now, support is down between 238.36 and 238.71. And then all the way down towards around 234.60 to 235.32 are going to be your lower levels of support on Tesla. So if you want to get short, are you getting short right here, right now, guys? Let's just assume market was open. Let's assume market was open. Tesla just dropped. Are you getting short right now? Yes or no? While you guys answer my question, let me go answer Catherine's question. Where is the SPY level? I see it down at Friday's lows here, but if we crack Friday's low of day, the next area that I see is let me back up. The next area to the downside on the SPY is 424.83 to 425.06, Catherine. Negative Ghost Rider. No, 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 no. Why? Why not? Why not get in here? I mean, things dumping, things falling. There's more room to the downside, right? Why not get short here on Tesla right now? Right? I mean, it's got another 5 points to the downside. You guys can make a lot of money. Why not? Obviously, it's a trick question. We don't chase. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Because you'd be chasing it. Like, you're not even trying to get long because you're catching a falling knife, number one. And if you want to get long for a dip buy, make sure that it's a solid support level and make sure you're positioned correctly for a dip buy. But if you're trying to get this short, you're absolutely chasing it. But I guarantee someone right now needed to hear that. Because when I was a new trader, guess what I did? I would chase stocks. I'm sure everybody listening right now, at least one time in their trading career, you've chased a stock and you've gotten absolutely destroyed. It's a learning lesson. It happens. But I guarantee there's someone here right now that needs to hear that. The stock just dropped $10 without bouncing. Why would you want to chase it to the downside? You are absolutely FOMOing in. You're chasing the stock, and professional traders do not FOMO in. Professional traders don't chase stocks. We sit back, we wait for the next best opportunity. What's the next best opportunity? Letting Tesla bounce back into resistance. And if we see Tesla bounce back into resistance and we top out and we look gross and it looks like it wants to drop even lower, now let's look for a strategic entry back up towards resistance for the next leg down. Okay? And so that's what we're going to be doing here on Tesla, looking for it to bounce on up back into an overhead level of resistance and then look for some puts for the next leg down. Area of resistance overhead on Tesla between 244.39 and 244.92 here on Tesla. Tesla is definitely going to be now one of our top stocks to be watching at the start of the day, guys. All right, so that is Tesla. So here's the game plan again. Here's the breakdown. We're all eyes on SPY. All eyes on SPY. 10 o'clock, we have data. All right, be mindful we got data at 10 o'clock, and then we got Fed members speaking pretty much all day. Okay, so be mindful. FEMY penny stock looks great. ICCM penny stock looks great as well. Top 2 penny stocks, FEMY, ICCM. We're always dialed in on the SPY, guys. If I could just trade the SPY all day, every day, I would. And honestly, like, you could probably get away with just trading the SPY and nothing else, and you're going to be a killer trader. So the SPY, thorough breakdown. You guys are all set ready to rock and roll. Number 1 option pick of the day, of course, it's Tesla. The thing's moving. And when we have a stock moving like this, there's opportunity to make some big-time profits. So Tesla is the number 1 penny stock right now at this point in time. I don't even want to break down Google because I'm watching Tesla. I don't really want to break down Amazon because I'm watching Tesla. But what I will do is I'll break down Walmart for Catherine. And Catherine, you may have an entry today on Walmart off the daily uptrend, as well as that zone of support. Remember that zone we were talking about between 159.90 and 160.17? If you see Walmart today holding that zone, I wouldn't be opposed to look for an entry myself, and I would just take that on my Roth. Why not? So are we going to be gapping up today? I don't know how we're going to open. I don't know, Catherine, but just keep it on watch. Like, I'm just curious to see if Walmart gets back above that 160 level. Right? If we get back above that 160 level, it's also going to be holding the uptrend. If we see that take place, maybe we get a bounce, but be smart, be safe, because something else we're starting to notice now is a left shoulder, a head, and a possible right shoulder, and this could lead to a crack, right? So I know you want to take it long off the uptrend, off that zone of support, and we very well could see it open today inside of that zone, hold above the trend line, and we may see a bounce. And if that's the case, that's your plan from last week. However, if we see resistance at that zone and we're below the trend line, and if we ever start to see Walmart falling below Friday's low of day, I would actually like to get short for the next leg down towards around like 156.50-ish. That would be a nice head and shoulders formation on the daily. We can clearly see it, right? That would also be a nice lower high crack at the trend line. We're below the 20 EMA. We're below the 50 SMA. We're cracking the trend line, cracking that zone of support. If we see it turn resistance off this head and shoulders formation, I mean, delicioso. That's a great looking short setup there on Walmart. So keep that one on watch. But other than that, it's like, why look at Google? It's subpar. Why look at Amazon? It's subpar, right? When you compare it to Tesla, those other two plays are subpar. We got some great opportunity with Tesla today. Got to keep Walmart on watch. ICCM penny stock looking good. FEMY penny stock looking really good. And then we got the SPY, baby. And so we're all set ready to rock and roll for the day. All right, inside of chat, is there any other stocks that you need assistance with right now? Any stock that's on your watch list, any stock that you need some analysis on, let's dive into it. You guys got my watches for today. You got the SPY on watch, FEMY, ICCM, Tesla, Walmart. Those are my top 5 plays for the day. I'm not going to overwhelm you with 5 more stocks that may have opportunity. These are my plays for the day. This is where my focus is. This is where I'm looking to make money. So if there's another stock that you have on your watch list, you're like, I really want to take a little peek-a-rooski at it. I think there's potential. Type it up inside the chat. I'll give you my analysis on it, and we'll make sure you're prepared for market open at 9:30. Apple, we got some Apple in-house. We got some Apple. Yeah. Take a bit of a peek-a-rooski here at the Apple. I want to go back into all of this support that we had here. Look at all that support resistance that we had on the daily. Look at that zone. We hit it as resistance 1, 2, 3 times. Gap above it, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4 times before hitting those highs. Mark up this zone between 170.41 and 170.95. That's also going to be Friday's low of day. That is a key zone, 100%. That is a key area here on Apple. Let's go grab some overhead resistance here. Actually, this is a pretty simple one. That That's a pretty simple one. We had a lot of great support here. Good support. Last week resistance. So that zone is going to be between 173.05 and 173.54. So we got overhead resistance. We have this zone here between 170.41 and 170.95. Then I want to work my way down into that Wednesday's low of day, Thursday's open. Could be a zone. And then Thursday's low of day. Boom. 176. Yeah, 167.63. So these are going to be our 4 key areas of support resistance. Okay? Right into a 5-minute time frame. Where are we at? Actually, what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to change the color of the zone. I want it to stand out because it's a pretty key zone. I want this zone to really stand out, that purple zone. And we hit it high a day 3 times. We gapped above that zone, held it 4 times as support, and then ripped from there. That is a key level here on Apple. So we're going to mark it in purple. Purple nurple. Yeah, and so we're holding above it right now. So that's your lits, your line in the sand. So if Apple holds that zone, we can see Apple push into our next overhead zone of resistance. That's up between 173 and 173.50. If we hold this really key zone, I want to stress it, key zone of support. I mean, we're above it. We stay above it. We can see buyers move on in, and we can see a nice little push back into the 173s. However, you always want to have an opposite plan in place just in case. What if Apple comes below that zone and then stays below it? We just get stuffed, right? We cannot get back above it. We clearly see that is resistance. Where could we see Apple go next? Well, 170 because it's psychological. But the key area that I'm seeing would be this next lower zone between 169.06 and 169.33. Okay, so your line in the sand, your make or break, that key significant level between 170.41, 170.95. You're above this zone, you're above it, calls. Okay, if you're below it and staying below it, we're looking for puts. Okay, that purple box is the line in the. And so actually I wanted to talk about Netflix. I did want to talk about Netflix, and I want to show you guys an example. Look at AMD. Remember AMD? AMD, beautiful stuff. AMD just fading and falling, sitting at the 200 SMA for like 4 days and then bouncing. Right? Pretty simple stuff. The stock comes down to its 200 SMA, 4 days back-to-back of consolidation, then it starts to bounce off that key moving average, right? The 200 SMA is like the most popular moving average that everybody uses as support resistance, right? It is a very popular indicator. AMD came right down into it. Nice bounce last week. Why am I showing you AMD? Well, because now I want to go show you Netflix. What's Netflix doing? Netflix pulling back into what? It's 200 SMA, right? So if we see Netflix consolidate for 2, 3, 4 days, whatever, we see it holding the 200 SMA, we could absolutely see Netflix bounce back up to $400 ahead of earnings. Right? You got earnings in a couple of weeks. Look at again, AMD. You calm down, couple of days of consolidation, right? Nice $4, $5 push on up. Okay, look at Netflix. We come on down and we hold this 200 SMA. We start to push over the next week or two ahead of earnings. Where could we see it go back up to? $400 psychological resistance. So it's that simple. Right? I would just go ahead and establish this zone here on Netflix. Go ahead and establish this zone between 368.95 and 371.06. Not only is that the 200 SMA, that's also all of this prior daily resistance. You see we had a crap ton of resistance at that zone, a lot of resistance at that zone, very big breakout through that zone. And now we're pulling back into that zone, and it just so happens to be the 200 SMA that we could bounce off of. And again, I always want to go back and show you the example of what we could expect. Exactly what we saw last week on AMD. We came down into the 200 SMA, we held it, and we pushed. Netflix, we can see it come on down into the 200 SMA, consolidate, start to push. But the nice thing about Netflix is not just the 200 SMA, but it's coming back down into a pretty significant prior level of resistance, which could now turn into support. Then you've got the 200 SMA to back it up as well. So as long as we hold that zone, you definitely have potential this week, coming in the next week, ahead of earnings, to see Netflix bounce back up towards around 400 buckarooskies. They're on Netflix. Musa, if you don't mind, let's type in our tickers in correct ticker format. So you see everybody else, they're typing in $ capital letters, the ticker. That's just so the search functionality works correctly. So like when you start typing for a ticker, it works correctly. And then when you hover over the ticker, you get an on-demand interactive chart. So it just allows everything to work correctly. So if you don't mind, get those typed up in correct ticker format. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Just keeps chat clean as well. So that's Netflix for you, boss. And then Meta. We got some Meta in the house. Ugh. Can I ask you a question, Musa, inside of chat? Meta, do you even see anything in the first place on Meta? Because, I mean, at first glance, it looks quite disgusting. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, I'm a first glance kind of guy. Like, if I look at a chart first glance and I don't like it, I usually just discredit it and I move on. Because if I look at a chart, first glance, I'm like, I don't see anything, but I still pursue doing TA. I start justifying levels. I start seeing things that aren't really there. And those are like the worst trades I've ever taken. Right? If I don't see anything at first glance, I move on. If I see something at first glance, I'll start to pursue and do some TA and do my due diligence and get prepared, right? But if I don't see anything at first glance and I start doing TA anyway, I feel like I start justifying things that aren't really even there. I start seeing things that aren't really there just to find something. And so I really like to pass on these. So let me ask you, do you see something right now? Are you in this trade? Is it a dire emergency that we get TA done on this? If so, I'll do it. But if you're just like, oh, I was just wondering, then my response is there is nothing here. I think there's better opportunity on Netflix. That's one of your stocks. Netflix looks great. Tesla, phenomenal. So just go ahead and give me a heads up. I'll make sure that, I break everything down for you. We got time for like a couple more, guys. And then the Qs. Yeah, so your main line in the sand on the Qs is this zone between 357.01 and 357.57, okay? If the Qs hold this zone, you got room back up into this daily gap fill level. Okay, so you do have this daily gap fill level on the Qs. Right here we can see that we have this daily gap fill. That daily gap fill the lower the lower end of that daily gap level is 361.61. So if we hold this lower zone of support, we can see the Qs return to that 361.61. However, you see the Qs fall below that zone and stay below that zone. That's when we can see the Qs drop down to 353. So what is your line in the sand? Your line in the sand on the Qs is this zone between 357.01 and 357.57. You hold this zone and you're trading above it, we're looking at calls. We're below this zone and trading below it, we're trading puts. Right? This is your line in the sand. That's your make or break. That's the level, in my opinion, that will determine direction today. We hold above that zone, definitely see a nice push to the upside. We fall below it, stay below it. You definitely see sellers start to step in, see a nice little drop to the downside here on the Q. That candle right there, that's absolutely a misprint. What time did that candle take place at? That candle took place at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is when you see misprints. Look at FEMY, 8 a.m., misprints. Look at, well, this stock wasn't even trading at 8 a.m. It just started to move. But look at 8 a.m. across the board, right? You get misprints galore. Look at the Qs. Misprint. Look at FEMY, 8 a.m. Misprint. Go take a look at 8 a.m. here on AWIN. You got misprints, right? ICU, 8 a.m., misprints. It's a very common thing to see misprints right at 8 a.m. across the board. At 9:12, I don't even see anything at 9:12. 9:12, no. I don't have anything on my charts. So definitely a misprint. All right, so what do we got? We got about 5 minutes. So a misprint basically is an order that comes through the time and sales that was not a legitimate order, but the charts don't know, right? So the charts, the candles, are being made up based on all the orders coming through the time and sales, right? So that's what gets a candle to go up and down, is based on the orders that are coming through, buy orders, sell orders, right? That's why the candles move based on the time and sales. So the candlesticks are basically a visual representation of the order flow, the buying and the selling taking place, buying and selling that we can see here on the time and sales. So if an order comes through on the time and sales that wasn't legitimate, it's called a misprint. But the candlesticks are a visual representation of the time and sales. So the candlesticks don't know that was a fake order or a misprint. So the candle's still going to react. And so when an order came in this morning on the SPY, an order hit the time and sales at 430.21. Which caused this candle to go up and then right back down to its accurate price, because there is a misprint order that came in. The candlestick is looking at the time and sales basically, to keep it simple, and the candlesticks are moving based on the order flow. It's a visual representation on what's going on behind the scenes, buying and selling. So that's a misprint. It's an order that came through, was not a legitimate order, called misprints. It was a misprint. And yeah, it caused the candlestick to make a big move. You would think, just looking at the candlestick, that was legit, but you can tell it wasn't legit. All right, so we are officially diving inside of our live trading session inside of the community. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today on TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. 5 channels today that we're streaming live. We got maybe a few hundred viewers across every channel. And again, I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, for being here. Hopefully you guys got some value from the stream. Again, hearing my analysis, the game plan, how I'm looking to navigate the market, how we're looking to make money inside of the community here today. But now, unfortunately, the live stream ends on social media, because we are going live exclusively with members inside of our community for the next 3 hours. To trade live with them, to help them build game plans, help them make money in the market, and just be here every step along the way while the market's actually live and moving. So if you want to learn more about working with us, go click the link in my bio on TikTok. If you guys want to learn more and you guys are on, say, Rumble, if you guys are on YouTube or anywhere else, just go to my TikTok profile. It makes it really simple. Go to TikTok, type in The Real Josh Howerton. That's going to take you to our TikTok page where we have nearly 100,000 followers. There's a link there in my bio. Click that, and you can actually learn more about joining our program, working with us live inside of the market every single day, even if you're remotely interested, all right? But I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning right around 8:30 on every social media channel. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, josh@alphadaytrading.com, or like I said, just go to TikTok, type in The Real Josh Howerton. Link is in the bio. Learn more about our trading program, learn more about the community, learn more about working with us, and maybe we have an opportunity to chat, see if it makes sense, and bring you on to the inside, the dark side, and help you guys become consistently profitable traders. All right, so take care, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. And the last thing I want to say, go to YouTube, go to Rumble, type in Alpha Day Trading, go to our channel, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our sessions there. Because in the future, that's the only place we're going to be, is YouTube in the morning and Rumble in the morning. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, go to YouTube or Rumble, type in Alpha Day Trading, give us a follow, subscribe, notification bell, and that's where you're going to get the interactive streams for the morning. All right, guys? Take care, peace out, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Traders inside the chat, let's get to it. Let's welcome Mr. Zach on the Zoom. Mr. Stir, what's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ding dong. All right, guys, you guys ready to rock and roll today? You guys ready to crush the market? I'm ready, guys. He's so ready. All right, 9:30, market's open, baby. Market's open. Have a good day, guys. Sit back on your hands. Be smart. Be patient. Wait for the market to come to you. And let's have some fun. I got big goals, guys. My goal for the next 90 days is $1,000 a day to keep my wife away. That was like, I don't even know if that makes any sense. But my goal for the next 90 days is to average $1,000 a day on my account. That's my goal moving into 2024. So